Hello friends, Tom Downey here to take a look at the Saints preseason profile, and we'll start things off with some key additions in what was a rather aggressive offseason for New Orleans. They signed Patrick Robinson, they brought in Mario Davis, they went on, they added Cam Meredith, and they added Ben Watson as well at tight end, Kurt Coleman at safety too, and then they traded up to get Marcus Davenport in the first round. It was a rather aggressive move by New Orleans, especially on defense, a defense that overachieved last year. They brought in key players to help prevent any potential regression. As for their losses, look, really not that bad. Yeah, Coby Fleener gone. He is a bit of a bust signing. Willie Snead did not emerge like I thought he was going to last year. Zach Strief was a bit of a big loss there. I didn't love the Saints draft overall. I'm not a huge fan of trading up for a young, raw defensive end, even though Davenport could make it worthwhile. All in all, it was a great offseason though for the Saints. I gave it an A-. Not quite a full-fledged A, but the Saints did a very good job this offseason. They are in the midst of their window. Rather than maybe say draft a quarterback and try and extend that window, they went all in to win at least one more time with Drew Brees. We'll take a look now at the Saints preseason schedule. Now they go play the Jaguars in week 1, Cardinals in week 2, and then back-to-back LA games, one at home, one on the road against LA and home against the Rams. Take extra focus on that week 3, the dress rehearsal game. It is Drew Brees against his old team, although having it be in the preseason doesn't quite carry the same amount of intrigue that it otherwise would. Big question on defense for me is, who's going to help Cam Jordan out in the pass rush? The Saints need one more guy. There are several options I think that could emerge as that reliable, if not downright elite, number 2 option as a pass rusher. Some training camp storylines to monitor now for the Saints as they have begun their training camp. First up, who is the number 2 back without Mark Ingram? The Saints, of course, Alvin Kamara, he's going to be the number 1 guy, but with Ingram suspended for 4 games, who becomes that number 2? Look, we'll rank the guys here, I guess, but all 5 of these players, take your pick as who you think it's going to be. It could be Terrence West or Jonathan Williams or Shane Vereen. The 3 more recent signings, I'll go Williams a little bit less so. Boston Scott was a 6th-round pick out of Louisiana Tech. Trey Edmonds was a former undrafted free agent out of Maryland/Virginia Tech. A lot of different options there, and the Saints don't want to overwork Kamara. That means somebody on this list, barring a trade or free agency addition, is going to emerge as the number 2 back in the first 4 games of the season. So folks, let me know who you think should be that number 2 back while Ingram is out with his suspension. I mentioned this earlier, but the defensive side of things, who is going to help out the pass rush? I love Cam Jordan, a fantastic player, but the Saints need somebody else on that front 4 to emerge as a secondary option when it comes to getting to the quarterback. Now, Alex Okafor kind of played that role pretty well last year before he got hurt. I thought it was going to be Sheldon Rankins. He has not emerged as the same disruptive force that we saw at Louisville, and the Saints, of course, traded up to get Marcus Davenport. My guess is that this is what the defense looks like on base downs, but on passing downs, I would not be surprised if Davenport comes on, especially early in the year, as a kind of a pass rushing specialist. He's probably not going to get 10 sacks, but if he can get a handful, especially as the year goes on, that's what New Orleans needs, and a defense that overachieved last year and should be maybe even better this year, at least talent-wise. One final storyline for me, will there be another Super Bowl run with Drew Brees at the helm? Now, Brees is 39 years old. He's got 2 years left on his deal, but he is still among the NFL's top quarterbacks. And yeah, the TDs went down, but 72% completion percentage. You know, I wouldn't have minded the Saints had, say, traded up to take a Lamar Jackson instead of trading up for Davenport, because it would expand their window longer than it currently is. But getting Davenport and all the moves they made, Robinson, Davis, Meredith, Watson, and so on, they were all built with the mindset that, look, we are on the cusp of making a Super Bowl run, if not outright winning it. Let's go all in for this year, bring back Brees for another year or 2 or whatever, and see if we can't make that full-fledged run and win one more title for Brees, and maybe, just maybe, win an MVP, because it is a crime that Drew Brees does not have an MVP. So with the MVP run in mind, or excuse me, Super Bowl run in mind, let's take a look there at their 2018 schedule for the Saints. Not a terrible start to the year. I'm not a big fan of the Bucs, and the Browns, well, they're the Browns. The Falcons will be a tough game on the road at the Giants in back-to-back weeks there. We'll see how good New York actually is this season. Then Monday Night Football, they play the Washington Redskins. Then a bye early in the year could be an issue for the Saints. is followed up by a pair of back-to-back road games at Baltimore, at Minnesota, one of those being Sunday night. Then they go play the Rams. A bit of a couple of tough games in there. Atlanta, Minnesota, LA, but the Saints should be, 4 or 5 wins, I think, at minimum by that point in the year. Then to the second half of the schedule. They go to Cincinnati in Week 10, host the Eagles, host the Falcons, then go travel to the Cowboys on Thursday night. A short trip there to Atlanta. So right there, Week 11 through Week 13, that's a massive matchup or pair of matchups for the Saints there. Are they going to be a true playoff team, or will they have to be battling for a wild card spot? I think those 3 games will be critical to determine it. And then the last 3 games too, at Carolina versus Pittsburgh, and then home against Carolina again. A rather tough slate of 6 of those last 8 games is very difficult for New Orleans. I think they'll be just fine because I think they're a really good football team, but it's going to be a tough slate of games to end the year for the Saints. As for the Super Bowl odds, plus 1,800, one of the top 7 odds out there for the NFL this season. I like those odds. I like the Saints a lot this year. I think they're going to win the NFC South like they did last year. It's not going to be easy. The NFC South is incredibly, incredibly difficult. The Saints have the talent, they've got the coaching staff, and most importantly, they have the quarterback as well. This is going to be a good Saints team. Maybe they can finally make that run, and who knows what would have happened last year had Marcus Williams not just misplayed that pass to Stephon Diggs. I think he'll bounce back this year, though. I'm not too concerned about him. All right, folks, let me know where you think the Saints will finish in the NFC South. I assume most of you will pick first or second. Maybe there's a third sprinkled in there, but I think the Saints are one of the clear-cut top 2 teams in the NFC South. And subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/chatsportstv. It'll take you right in the subscribe page for all the latest NFL news you want and highlights as we get closer to the regular season.